Hello, hello, it's Kim Carallo. Shut the front door too. We are a wreath door hanger vintage gift store and we are located in Lexington, Kentucky. And today we have a haul video for you. Let me just tell you, I have some good things to show you and quite a bit of stuff. But you'll notice that for the past 2 weeks, I haven't posted a video. I was sick the second time this month, y'all. Knocked me out of work for an entire week. And you know, it is what it is. So no video that week. And then I live in the state of Kentucky, so we ended up getting a pretty bad ice snowstorm that had some things closed down. And when that happens for my family, it puts us down to one car because my car is the only kind of car we have that works in this deep of ice and snow or whatever. So that is, you know, that's just the way it is. So I took the opportunity, I thrifted once, and a lot of this is from that thrift trip, and I found some amazing things. Also, I went through my house, and a lot of this is from my personal collection. I don't have anything to replace this stuff with. It was just stuff that I was ready to move on. And as a thrifter, that's what we do sometimes. We just have things that we keep and then we pass it along. Like the Etsy shipment this week, I passed along. I kind of regret this a little bit. I found a fantastic piece, a designer piece of a person who's no longer on the earth, and it was a enamel over copper plate. It was green. It was everything that I love. And I just couldn't find a place for it where I felt like it showed it off. So I listed it up to Etsy and I've shipped it off. And I'm telling you, I have a little bit, you know, people talk about buyer's remorse. I have a little bit of a seller's remorse there. I'm not sure that that was a move I should have done. Anyway, you're here to see some great vintage, right? So let me show you that. A lot of this stuff is already at the places it's supposed to be, and it's got my tag on it. So I'll try to hide the tag the best I can so it doesn't get in the way of the piece. But let me show you this awesome pen holder desk set. It has the coins in it with the acrylic base and the little probably brass feet. I didn't test these to see if they were in fact brass, but they probably are. And I dig stuff like this. I love it. I don't work in a job where I have a desk per se. You know, I do this, and then I also have a hair salon. So, you know, I don't have desk sets, but I have always been drawn to them. You know, the pen holders and the paper, you know, holders and all the things. I love them. But I found quite a few things that I thought reminded me of gifts for guys. Gifts for guys are hard. And I've talked about it a lot. I also say it's hard, you know, for moms to find things for little boys. I found this brutalist style art piece of a golfer. It may be signed. I don't, well, it actually has something on the bottom that says it's Italian art. I didn't look into it that much. I just thought it was cool. I thought it would be great for a gift for a golfer, and actually it could be, you know, it could be a female golfer too. I just think that sometimes it's very difficult for moms to decorate their little boys' rooms if they're trying to do vintage. It is also hard, I think, sometimes to find unique things for boyfriends and husbands and dads for gifts. And I know Father's Day is in June. I know it is January, but you can never you know, you can never wait, because if you do, these awesome things won't be there. And these are both things that I thought could make great gift options for the men in our lives. Not that they couldn't be for women too. Love a napkin ring. in the booth setting, they do well. These are just cool because of the shape. They are square. There's only 4 of them, but you know, 4 is a good amount. And I liked the color. I liked that deep sort of dark color. So of course, didn't want to pass those. And, you know, boxes are always a thing for me. I love them. This is a smaller one, so this would look really great if you had, you know, even some boxes of different sizes stacked, and then this could be your top because it's a small size. Guys, my nails are stained from work. They're not dirty. You know, hairdresser, so, and I do wear gloves, but I don't wear gloves the entire process, especially the shampooing process. I just can't. I've been doing this for 40 plus years, and it is, I have stained nails, stained hands, a lot stained clothes, you know, all the things. Anyway, back to the beautiful little box. It has sort of a navy-ish stain. I thought it was black the whole time, but now that I've got it in this brighter light here, it is definitely a navy stain, and that makes it even, I think, more special for me. A little closeted, and my tags are big because, you know, we have to write a description, we have to write a price, we have to write our booth number, and to get all that on there sometimes is hard because I write sort of big. So for a little piece like this to have a tag that is exactly probably the same size is kind of comical. But anyway, a little closeted turtle. I just love cloisonne anyway, but this little turtle, I love the colorway. I just adore it. So it's a small. I'm amazed at how many times I pick up small items. I'm just drawn to them. Maybe, I'm looking around, maybe my favorite piece. I don't know if I can say that because I have several things that I love. This is a silver plate pot, and it has the most amazing embossed, I guess you would call that. I don't know, detail. I'm crazy about this. And this is one of those things that, you know, you're not going to find it that often. So I really thought about keeping it for myself, but I've got several plants, indoor plants, and I don't intend to really grow that collection of plants because it's hard for me to keep the ones I have alive, to be honest. So I think I will pass it along, but I do in fact love it. Clear bowls. Some might think, why on earth are you picking up clear glass? You hear all kinds of resellers say this stuff doesn't sell. Well, I love it because for one thing, it goes with anything. You can mix and match, and something with this much detail with the ruffled edge is absolutely beautiful to use it for its intended purpose. However, if you like TikTok, you will see that these young girls are using clear and crystal bowls, and I do have 2 others to put into the space for their makeup, and they're putting their makeup on their dressers or on their, you know, vanities as a place to hold their makeup. And I have to say that I love when you can think outside the box, and I love that that's a thing. I mean, it's truly a thing. And I have to thank my friend Christy because she's the one that actually told me about that. A painted enamel plate, just because the flowers are beautiful. I loved the colorway. It just screams like summer to me, but I also think that something like this would be a great backdrop on a shelving unit just to add that pop of color where you need it. I found 4 of these. And when I can find 4 small plates, these are milk glass, these are old, they're probably antique. I can't really authenticate that, so I'm not gonna say something's 100 years old unless I can tell you for sure, but definitely vintage and definitely old. but these would be perfect for a plate wall. And because I'm not selling them as a set, because not everyone will want to do a plate wall, but I could see these on the top and the bottom and on either side of a blue and white platter for a plate wall, and it screams elegance to me, just really nice. This would also be great for its intended purpose, to use all four as a dessert plate. It is also something that I think would look really, really great with the detail of this plate just on an easel. So lots of possibilities there for those beautiful plates. This I have had for a couple of weeks. When I purchased this, it was to sell it, and I've never shown it. I don't have a lot of information. I have tried to research it a little bit. It is a watercolor. And if you can see this small detail, guys, this is amazing. This is definitely a professional. This is not someone who is just starting out and testing their watercolor skills. It is signed, and it was in this frame. Now, when I purchased this, I wasn't really sure that I loved the frame. I don't know. It's probably pewter or some kind of metal. But then when I looked at the back, and you know, I came out of here without my readers, so I can't read the back of this now. What a shame. And I think it's going to be backwards if I put it on the screen. I think this is from the artist. I don't think the person who purchased this took this art and put it in here. I think this is the name of the art and the name of the artist, but the signature on the art is pretty small. So I can't really say for sure about that, but I'm thinking that it must be. But anyway, this piece is not on Etsy, but it will end up there. Etsy is open though, guys, but you can still reach out if there's something that you don't see there, because with the booth spaces, and we have 3 in one location and 1 in the other, and hair salon, and I'm telling you, it takes a lot of merchandise. So, you know, it not everything's going to end up online. Let's just say that. This is from my personal collection. I don't know if this is Weller pottery or not. It probably is. It's really old. Weller had that sort of buttery glaze, but I think probably other makers did too. It's oval. It's a flower frog. It's gorgeous. And I wish I had a stem so I could start showing you guys how these are used if you've never seen them used. It makes flower arranging so easy. You just would drop this down in a container, and you know, it's pretty enough. Even if you used a bowl like this, you fill your bowl up with water and you put your stems here. Absolutely amazing, because it makes it really, really easy. Second time I found this piece. The other time was a long time ago, but I have to be careful. These are marble, Italian marble probably. I'm not sure, but they're little pieces of fruit in a little fruit basket. I told you all I'm drawn to minis. And I was drawn to this for sure. It has, you know, an apple, a banana, looks like a pineapple in there, looks like a watermelon slice. I just thought it was so cute. And you know, once you set that down, it would be fine. You just have to be careful, because the basket, you know, the fruit is designed to look like it overflows like a real fruit basket does. This is a really good piece. I do have the cheese knife that goes with it. I didn't bring it out, but I do have it. It's the colorway that makes this really special, I think, because you don't see this colorway of marble very much. This is an Arthur Court piece, and it is a cheese board, charcuterie, whatever you want to use it as. Honestly, I would use this on a counter, on an easel in a kitchen, because of the beauty, and then use it more as a cutting board. But you know, you do you. When you buy things that you love and want to put in your own home, yeah, you just do you. There are all kinds of ways we can use these items, guys. Silver plate pedestal dish will never pass these up, and they're just beautiful on their own, but they add so much character to a space. If you were decorating and using these pieces on your shelf, you could see this painting with this pedestal dish. You could even put some moss balls in here, leave it empty if you want. Use it as a soap dish in a guest bathroom. You could also use this to catch your keys on an entryway table. Possibilities for things like that are endless, but on shelving units, pedestals make decorating even that much easier, I think, and that much more fun. Okay, a little gold tone bird, not old at all, but things like this are really, really good because you could also plop this little guy in a vessel like this and put some moss around it. And you have, you've just elevated your little decorating game there. That's just a fun little example. And then next up, I have these gilded gold frames, and they're all 3 different sizes, coordinating from the smallest to the largest. These will be sold in a set. I collect these types of things and sell them in sets. If I don't keep them, I held on to these. These were in my personal collection. I held on to these because they were going to be projects, and I'm going to share what my thought process was. So I was going to put decorative wallpaper or some type of scrapbook paper as my backing, and then on the front I was going to use some kind of a brooch and make a decorative piece on, with the frame, the paper, and then the brooch. But I never did do it. And part of the reason why, I think the idea is great, and I think that it would look fabulous, and I think it would be something, if I saw out, I would gravitate to and probably own some for my own spaces. But I had a hard time taking a beautiful gold gilded frame that is hard to come by and a beautiful brooch and making the brooch unwearable. So I changed my mind. And so now I'm passing along my frame collections and my brooches. So there we go. There we go on that. This, my friends, was one of my favorite pieces as well. It is a stool. The wood is so charming. It has so much perfect wear and tear. It has a rope detailing, and then of course the needlepoint work on the top. And this, my friends, is amazing. So anytime I find needlework, if it fits the budget that I have, I don't leave it behind. Guys, I'm gonna have to probably start moving a little quicker. I'm afraid I am dealing with not enough storage, and I'm old enough to know or not to know how to fix that problem, especially when I delete text messages. I don't save text messages. I don't save, I don't have a lot of photographs on my phone. I don't know. Anyway, I have nieces that could probably help me. I just never think to ask. Anyway, this is a vintage piece, and it's cool. It is a metal pitcher. Loved the handle. That's my favorite part. I love that it's black, and it was made in Vietnam. The part that I love most about this is that sort of that rustic charm, and with the colorway being black, I think it's very neutral. And of course, I would say pop those flowers in there and use this as a vase, but I also think it's just a nice decorative element on its own, especially those big, beautiful handles. I tend to say things like that sexy handle, but one of my people said, I just need that I can't remember what it was, and it made me giggle because I thought, things just come out sometimes, and it probably did sound silly, but look how beautiful this is. This is a book rack. It is, it expands. And when I say this one doesn't expand, guys. Oh, this makes it even better. It's made in India. It is hand carved. It is exactly what you see, the size that you see, but look at the detail. That beautiful hand carved detail. This is probably rosewood is what I would say. And I'm glad I didn't list this and say it expands. Actually, I think this one's going to the booth, but because that would have been embarrassing. I love the metals, copper, brass, silver, bring them all on. I love them. I also mix and match and put them together. I think it's very charming. I don't see a lot of copper pots, and I found this one. It's not a huge size. It does have the brass detail. And guys, when I find copper, most of the time, that natural patina that's on it is gonna stay. I'm not a fan of that shiny, bright, new copper. It all gets to be this color eventually. So if I shine this up, that's what I'm gonna end up with. So I'll leave that up to the buyer, the end buyer. If you like that look better, go for it. There's nothing wrong with it. But if you purchase it from me, it's gonna have that beautiful, yummy detail there, that natural patina, and loved that little piece. This is not, you know, not super valuable. I'll be honest. Not that I pick up only valuable things. Guys, I'm gonna tell you, some of the things I have break-even value. Some of the times I find things that I'm shocked at the value. The way I thrift and how I do it is I only buy things I like. So I may not want that in my own home, as meaning I want to keep it, but I do like it. There has to be something about the piece that draws me in. With art, it is usually just simply the work that it took that person to make that. Something like this, I'm a gardener, I'm an amateur gardener, I love it. So for me, this kind of speaks to me. It is brass, so it doesn't have, you know, I said it's not super valuable. It's not gonna be a $30 piece, right? That's what I mean by that. But it is so cute, and it would look really cute on a stack of books, and I could see someone that is also an amateur gardener being drawn to this. I did leave the natural patina on this as well because I thought it was good. I do shine up some of the brass that I find now. I used to never, and some of the silver, but not always. And I don't know that I have a true rhyme or reason for that. I loved this piece of art. It is probably Raku, and it is signed. I couldn't find any information on it. Unfortunately, I think I'll hold on to this one only because I damaged it on the way home, and I chunked out a piece there. Now for me, that doesn't really bother me. And for some of you, it probably wouldn't bother because, you know, it's not going to be that noticeable. But, you know, I was a little bit disappointed. I would like to find out more about the meaning of the window and then the figure here. So thought it was pretty cool. Let's show you some frames. Picture frames are also something I'm drawn to because I love photography, and I used to, you know, print out everything. I don't do that anymore, but I wish we would get back to that, and I think some people do. This is a double frame. It's the old metal with some painting on there. The part that I love mostly about this is that it's double, but it also has that museum glass, which means there's not going to be a glare on your artwork that you put in it or your picture that you put in it. And then this is just super great. It's probably 80s. It has the pressed flowers. The part that I really love most about it is that the colors are still pretty vibrant. And this is glass. And then I'm sitting here thinking, what do you call this? You all, you know, tell me in the comments, because it's totally left my brain. It's not stained glass. Oh well, you know. you know, I know you do. Okay, this is something I did pick up. I found this piece, and you'll see my mantle, you'll see the camera there. There's no way to really keep you from seeing that. But anyway, you get the gist. It is the bow on the top. It's oval. The other mess that you just saw was the stuff on the table that I just showed you. And then I think I gave you a quick glance at the floor of some books and some brass candlesticks that had been painted red. It's a project piece. I'm going to try to get that red paint off. I don't know if I can, but I love the candlesticks. And if I can't, I'm just going to repaint them black and just say, okay, there we go. But anyway, let's get back to this beautiful mirror. I found two. These are Italian. This is gold gilt, the bow on the top, and it does have the stamp on the back. And I love them. So I love everything about them. Sorry about all of the glare, guys, and then having to explain my little piles of stuff. I thought this was super cute. This is and this was painted a more solid. I did distress it because I thought the distressing just looked more authentic to the piece. It does have some names on the back. It's just a copper, piece of copper that has been embossed, and so, you know, it's cute, and I thought it would be really nice also on a shelving unit. It could be on a gallery wall to break up, you know, if you have more of a rustic sort of flair. This also would be great for a gallery wall. It's a flat basket. Flat baskets are just so popular. People really do love them. This one has a lot of detail on its own. It also has some wire in there. It would be nice too that you could just also put, you know, like the moss sheets in there to put the green, and then actually use it to put faux flowers. But I would probably just use it as a basket. I think it's really charming. Okay, guys, let's get through this. I found two of these. These are actually wall shelves. I love the patina on them. I think they're perfect the way they are, and you could use them for their intended purpose. I would probably tell you, for me, I would use them as bookends or for decorative pieces stacked on top of books, because I love that detail. But I would also think they could work great for an easel. And I'm showing you a piece of art that this was in my personal collection. I have owned this for a few months, maybe a year or so, and I'm ready to pass it on. So I am going to pass on that little panda painting, but I really can't, I can't get past how beautiful that looks. So think outside the box when you see things. You can use it for its intended purpose as a little display shelf. Absolutely, nothing wrong with that. But it would also make a great easel for a small piece of art or a small plate. It would also be great on its own on a stack of books, or use them for bookends. I do have two. I keep using the word plural. And let me show you this painting up close. This has, you know, just the most beautiful detail. And I loved this little piece of art. And I've loved it for a while. I'm probably more drawn to it. I like the Asian flair because I think it mixes great with that blue and white. But I also was just drawn with how much green there was in it, and you know, it's small. So that was another thing that I loved. I found another one of these cork arts. It's Asian cork art. I don't say that I find these often, but I've had bigger ones, really large ones. I've had small ones, and then this one's what I would call tiny. And I really do like these. These are some of my favorite things to find. Probably won't pass them up if they fit the budget. This is not super old. It is probably vintage because it's some type of a resin material, but things like this are great for decorative purposes. It's Wow, it is made in a way that you could lean this on the back of a shelf and it would fit flush as a decorative piece. It does have a hanger on the back, but it would look really good, you know, if you had a piece of art to like maybe just hang this at the top as a decorative piece. So I liked it. And it's, you know, it's the natural, you know, painting gold tone that was on there. It's I didn't do anything to it. Okay, looks like I have two more pieces, and I love this. Look at that beautiful detail, that sort of rope detail. I was gonna say braided, and then I looked at it again. The painting, I mean, I love the birds. I don't know if it's Italian because it doesn't tell me on the bottom. It does have this marking, but I don't read Italian, or I can't tell if that's Italian, okay? But it's beautiful, and it is it's some kind of a, you know, hand painted piece with the hummingbirds and the flowers, and I really liked it. It's a good size. It is heavy though, guys. So if you fill this up with liquid, you know, of course I'm going to tell you use it for flowers. If you fill this up with liquid for a serving piece, it is heavy. So let me show you this little guy because I love him. He is, he's a soap dish. I mean, that's exactly what it is. It is silver plate. This is probably glass. I don't see a lot of prisms. I'm gonna say glass because I don't see prisms, but I think this, it almost looks like a crown. I just think this is pretty on its own. I don't think I would use it as a soap dish. Not that there would be anything wrong with that. I would probably tell you this is a good little bedside table piece. This is a good little piece that you could add to a side table with a display, and maybe you have a tray, maybe you have a vase, maybe you have a figure of some kind, and this could just add some extra detail in there. And maybe you could even put a candle on it. It is oval, so I'm not sure if I didn't test a candle, but you know, if it's not a huge candle, it would definitely fit. This isn't, you know, a huge piece, so I don't know, but use it as a soap dish. If you want this and you end up with this and that's what you want to do, I would just tell you, you know, I'm going to fill this up with probably my jewelry on my bedside table. So guys, that's all we have for you. We thank you so very much. We hope that you have the very best day, and we'll talk to you really soon.